These videos are made for the purpose of entertainment. These are not made to give you an excuse to harass the original creator. I do not condone the harassment or bullying of the creators featured in these videos.
Hello everybody, my name is Yuji and welcome back to another video. Wow. It's been years since I've thought about this profile. Scrolling through old CC videos and remembering all the old characters and profiles I made videos on with Titus is so strange. RVP was one of our first videos on YouTube back when we were just kind of finding things and reacting to them because we were edgy teenagers who liked creators like Deviant Cringe and the Phantom Menace. I was the Deviant Cringe fan. Titus was the Phantom Menace fan. And because of that, our old videos were really uncensored and really mean. I'm still mean now, but I'm much better at toning it the fuck down when I need to. So I've decided that this would be a good video to remake. All the deviations are still up. Nothing about it has changed since 2016, which is entirely our fault. I'll admit that. So I've decided to redeem myself and make a proper video and not just rambly nonsense. The first character I'm going to be looking at is Rosie, RVP's Undertale OC. First of all, that's not a military uniform. That's a checkered hat, a green shirt, and blue pants. And I am just now realizing that the lines across her legs are supposed to indicate boots. And note to everyone when trying to draw a specific outfit, especially a uniform, look up a reference picture. Oh, and if you're drawing a nurse and a doctor, the Red Cross, don't make it red. That's a war crime, and I'm not joking. Using the Red Cross violates the Geneva Convention, so don't use the Red Cross symbol. Just don't. You don't want to accidentally commit a war crime. Really, don't use any military or medical symbols. Make up your own, cause it's a war crime to use symbols that already exist. Aside from that, I assume her eyes are fully blue like that because of Sans. You know how his eye goes blue during the boss fight? Yeah. And that just doesn't make sense. I know that this was added to the character because she shipped with Sans, and a lot of Undertale OCs back in 2016, especially the ones shipped with Sans, tended to just completely or just partially rip off Sans in one way or another. Taking inspiration from a character is one thing, but just completely copying them is another. On days like these, kids like you should be burning in heck. I know it says something else, but I don't like using curse words, so I changed it. Again, just copying Sans' signature catchphrase, just without the word hell. This is Rosie. She's my OC. I like her a lot, except Sans likes her more, because she's dating him. And that's why at the end of a genocide run, when you kill Sans, you have to face her too, because she doesn't like people killing her boyfriend. Yeah. No one would really like their partner being murdered. Also, I feel like it would make more sense if you fought Rosie before you fought Sans, because you fight him once, everyone else but the king and Flowey are dead, right? So she should be the fight right before Sans. That's what makes the most sense to me anyways, because I don't see how she would encounter the player after the Sans fight, unless she's waiting further inside the castle. I don't know. It's been years since I've watched playthroughs of the game, so I don't remember the layout of the final area very well. Also, when you start fighting her, she gets really painful flashbacks on her days in the army, because before she fell down into Undertale, she was in the army. She was in enemy territory when she fell. Okay, that makes sense. Veterans do tend to develop PTSD, especially if they've engaged in active combat. But I don't like the way this was written. It gives, and then she snapped and killed everybody one day vibes, you know what I mean? Flashbacks from PTSD usually have triggers, something that causes a flashback and ensuing panic attack to happen. Sometimes they just happen for no reason, as someone who suffers from complex post-traumatic stress disorder and is stupidly prone to panic attacks and the like, I should know. So I don't know, I would just like more information on her traumas and what causes her panic attacks. Is it just the fighting in general because she was enlisted into the army and forced to play a part in a war she didn't want to be in? Or is it more specific things like loud noises, weapons, fast movements, just to give this character a little more depth than just, she has painful flashbacks because she was in the army. She's a sniper in the military, that's why she fell into Undertale. Also, she killed Toriel because the ghost following her could predict the future and said that she should kill her, and usually the ghost is right. I'm sorry, what? That doesn't make sense. The game kind of establishes that killing Toriel is a bad thing. Was this added because you ship Eurosi with Sans and it's implied in the game that Sans and Toriel are really close? Cause I swear to God. Guys, you don't need to kill other characters off to ship Eurosi with one of the other characters. That's just insane. Also, it establishes that she fell into the underground, right? And where she is in the timeline, the monsters are still trapped under there. So she's in a war with humans. How can the ghost predict the future? Is this an ability they gained when they died, or did the ghost have this ability while alive? I'm just confused. Sounds like this was just added to give Rosie an excuse to kill Toriel, when we all know it was just because RVP wanted to ship Rosie with Sans and felt like she couldn't because of the relationship between Sans and Toriel. Her hair is only over her eye when she's in/has flashbacks of the military because she doesn't actually like killing people, and it made her sad and hurting. She even cut herself. The ghost following her talks to her, but she says it's PTSD because she doesn't want people to think she's crazy. Okay. Her hair is only over her eye when she's having flashbacks tidbit can just be completely removed. It gives me edgy anime character vibes and not in the good way. Now, the self-harm is definitely something that I know a lot of people resort to, unfortunately, when dealing with untreated trauma and PTSD, but I don't fucking like that it was written with such an uncaring feeling. It feels like it was just added for pity points and to be edgy and cool rather than, you know, your character having trauma and actively suffering from it. It's really irritating that something as serious as mutilating your body is written into bios like this with zero fucking care. Something like this isn't just something cool and quirky to throw into a character or story, it's actually really fucking serious and doesn't deserve to be treated with such disrespect. And hang on, you said she doesn't like killing people, it makes her upset. Then why the fuck did she kill Toriel? I know the future seeing ghost told her to, but don't you think if she doesn't like killing people to the point where it gave her PTSD, she would be significantly more reluctant to do so, and might even just ignore the ghost suggestion to kill Toriel? Make it make sense. Anyways, on to the ghost thing. Haunted by ghosts, yeah, okay, sure, I could see it in the world of Undertale, but her saying it's her PTSD doesn't make sense. Something that would actually make sense is telling people she developed schizophrenia. The exact causes of schizophrenia are unknown. Research suggests a combination of physical, genetic, psychological, and environmental factors can make a person more likely to develop the condition. Some people may be prone to schizophrenia, and a stressful or emotional life event might trigger a psychotic episode. This just makes more sense to me. PTSD episodes, while do cause intense emotional and physical reactions, if she's just casually talking to these ghosts that are haunting her on a day-to-day basis, that doesn't line up with how PTSD works, but it does line up more with how schizophrenia works. I know it says she doesn't want people to think she's crazy, but if you're talking to something that no one else could see, they're going to think you're crazy regardless of what you say. That's just how a good chunk of the human race works, because most of us are judgmental assholes with little to no understanding of mental illness. I think this character has potential. It's a pretty decent start you have. The ideas are there, they just need to be expanded upon, and for the love of fucking God, do not just write in shit like PTSD and self-harm to be quirky. Actually do some research on these things instead of whatever the hell you did here. I would also like more development on her and Sandra's relationship and her experience in the underground with the monsters. Now on to the next OC. This is Charlotte, RVP's Creepypasta OC. I don't really have a lot to say about the design. It's fine. She's just a girl. Black pants, purple and black shirt, long black hair. Don't really like the operator symbol just being on her shirt, but it's fine. I wish her design was more interesting. She's supposed to be a proxy, and if you look at all the other proxies, Masky, Hoodie, and Tiki Toby, they all have unique and interesting designs, and Charlotte is just here. But that's really my only gripe with her design. It's just boring. This is my new OC, Charlotte. She's Slender's proxy because she killed her brother because he was a big jerk. Also, her parents died in a car accident and it gave her schizophrenia, and now she's a killer. Well, that escalated quickly. Okay, where to start? Well, the timeline is written weird, for starters. You say she killed her brother and that's how she became Slender proxy. But then you say her parents died, it gave her schizophrenia, and then she became a killer. When writing a bio, you should try and keep the timeline of the backstory in order. So it would go, her parents died, she killed her brother, then she became a Slender proxy. Also, I know I stated in Rosie's section that schizophrenia can be developed through a stressful or emotional life event, but was she even there when the car accident happened? Or did she just hear about it secondhand? Because if she just learned about it secondhand, then I'm gonna say that's bullshit. Yes, losing a parent is deeply traumatizing, and different people react differently to the trauma. But come on. This just sounds like she was given a mental illness just because, which is annoying and disrespectful. If you're going to give your OC a mental illness, do your research on how it affects people. Don't just add it into the bio of the character. Please and thank you. It can work, but you have to actually write it. Write her experience with her brother antagonizing her. Also write about her grief. Write about her dealing with all of that. And Slender sickness. Because if Slender Man is stalking her, which is generally what happens before people become proxies, if they don't die, the sickness, sometimes called Slender sickness, is the name given to an apparent sickness consisting mostly of coughing fits and coughing up blood, along with occasional nausea, paranoia, vomiting, and extreme exhaustion due to an encounter and being stalked by the Slender Man. Many also have had bloody noses, fever, and sometimes amnesia. It is experienced mostly by those stalked by Slender Man. Again, you've got a good starting point with the character, it just needs more time and thought put into the backstory and such. Don't just add things like PTSD, schizophrenia, or self-harm into your stories without writing them properly. Otherwise, you come off as an insensitive douche. So just take some time to write about these things properly and expand on your characters' backstories and relationships. These have potential to be interesting, but right now they're both just bland and disrespectful.
As I was editing this video, I realized I had forgotten a part of Charlotte's bio. This is why you put the bio in one place. People miss out on information about your character because there's no guarantee someone is going to look through your whole gallery just to find all the information about a character, unless they are really invested or do what I do, and there's not a lot of people like that, so please, for the love of everything that is sacred and holy in this world, make a reference sheet for your character and leave all the information for that character there, or at least a good fucking chunk of it. Charlotte, before her parents died, she is fun and chipper and really happy. She has her hair short because she likes to play and it would get tangled. She wears bright colors and has lots of friends. She gets hurt by her brother, but it's okay because she forgives him and she likes God. Oh, okay, so she's a Christian. Because she's a creepypasta character, that's a good opportunity to delve into religious trauma and how her relationship with God and her religion is affected by everything that happens after her parents die. Charlotte, after her parents died, she went psycho and now she kills people for a living. She killed her brother because he was being mean and she doesn't like God anymore. She hates God. Also, she lives with Slender Man and is his proxy. She gets along really well with Slendy and likes to go kill with him for fun. But inside she's hurting and she has schizophrenia and sees bad things like her brother making her kill people when actually he is dead, but maybe he's a ghost. I was so confused on what SYKO was for a second before I realized you were trying to spell psycho. I was going to say Google words you don't know how to spell, but if you don't know how to spell a word, there's not a good chance Google will help. I don't know, maybe Google a thesaurus online and use that, because I'm pretty sure psycho is a synonym for crazy, but I could be wrong. But thankfully nowadays we have a handy-dandy feature on our devices that allows us to speak into the device and it will write out sentences or words for you. Speech to text is great. Just gotta make sure you're speaking clearly enough the device knows what you're trying to say. Aside from that, you got the idea going. I can see it, but it's written so bad I can't even sugarcoat it. She's hurting inside and has schizophrenia and sees bad things like her brother making her kill people. When he's dead, maybe he's a ghost. Okay, I am at a bit of a loss for what to say. If she's schizophrenic and having delusions of her dead abusive brother that are forcing her to kill people, that would in a way make sense, but it doesn't make sense because earlier it says she likes to kill people with Slender Man for fun. This could be written as she's struggling with like her identity and how she really feels about killing people, but it's not written that way. It just contradicts itself. Also, does she know she has schizophrenia? Because depending on whether or not she does could really affect her belief in this hallucination of her brother being a ghost or not. If she knows she has schizophrenia, she could write off her hallucination as just that, hallucinations. And if she doesn't know, she could easily believe her brother's ghost is haunting her. Or, after she learns the supernatural are real, she starts questioning if she even has schizophrenia and is seeing actual real ghosts and they're not just hallucinations. See, the ideas are there, you just gotta work them out a little bit.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Looking back on these characters, I don't hate them as much as I used to. I still don't think they're great, but I can see now that they're not as bad as I once thought they were. They just need some work. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm Yuji, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.